In this video, we are starting our main course with the chapter on cyclic groups. So let us begin with the definition of a cyclic group. A group G is called a cyclic group if there is an element A in G such that G can be written as the powers of A. So every element of G can be written as a to the power n, where n is an integer, positive or negative. We call this element A as a generator of this group G, and if G is a cyclic group generated by A, then we write it as in this form: G is generated by A. So consider this group G. We have already considered it 1 minus 1 I and minus I. In this group we can write 1 as I to the power 4. We can write minus 1 as I square. We can write I as simply I, and we can write minus I as I cube. So all the elements of this group G are powers of I. We can also write all the elements of G as powers of minus I also, because we can write 1 as minus I raised to power 4. We can write minus 1 as minus I square. We can write I as minus I cube, and we can write minus I as minus I. So this group G is generated by I, and it is also generated by minus I. So a cyclic group may be generated by more than one different elements. As another example, in where we have additive notation, so consider this Zn. Okay, let us take the particular one, Z7. Z7 consists of 7 elements from 0 to 6. So in this group we can write 0 as 7 times 1, because we are now in additive notation. So powers of an element A become multiples of A. So we will write all the elements of Z7 as multiples of 1. So 0 is a multiple of 1. If you do 7 times 1, means 1 plus 1 plus 1 7 times, we will get 0, because we are in modulo 7. 1 we can write down simply as 1 times 1. 2 can be written as 2 times 1, and so on. 6 can be written as 6 times 1. So we can write all the elements of Z7 as multiples of 1. So we can say that Z7 is generated by 1. You can check that Z7 is also can be generated by 3. Example of an infinite cyclic group is Z. All the integers can be written as a multiples of 1, or also can be written as multiples of minus 1. So this infinite cyclic group Z has two generators, 1 and minus 1. We can prove that a group of prime order is always cyclic. So let G be a group whose order is a prime. Take an element X in G that is not 1, non-identity element. By Lagrange's theorem, order of X divides order of G, but order of G is P. and order of x is bigger than 1 because x is non-identity element, so that will force that order of x is p. So if we take the powers of x, we will get x square, x cube, and so on, x to the power p minus 1, and then x to the power p, and this will become 1 because order of x is p. So we have, and before x to the power p, no power of x will become 1 because order of x is p. No power less than p can be 1. So these are p distinct elements, and all these are in G, and order of G is p. So G is exactly equal to this set x, x square, and so on up to x to the power p minus 1 and then 1, and it is generated by x. So we picked up any non-identity element in G and showed that G is generated by x. So a group of prime order is generated by any known identity element. We just consider this group Z7. It's a group of order 7, so it must be cyclic by this result, and we saw that it is generated by 1, but here we proved that it is generated by any known identity element. So Z7 is also generated by 2, generated by 3, generated by 4, 5, and 6. So Z7 is generated by all these elements. If you take multiples of 2, you will get all the elements of Z7. An example of a non-cyclic group is S3. S3 contains 6 elements. Identity permutation, this one 1 2, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 1, 3 remains fixed, then 2 3, 1 3, 1 2 3, and 1 3 2. If we take the powers of 1 2, so 1 2 square is 1 2 times 1 2. So let us find the product of 1 2 with 1 2. So we start with 1. Under this permutation 1 goes to 2, and in this permutation 2 goes to 1, so ultimately 1 goes to 1. Then we take the second element 2. Under this permutation 2 goes to 1, and here 1 goes to 2, so 2 goes to 2. 3 is fixed, of course, in both these permutations, so 3 is fixed. So 1 2 times 1 2 gives you identity permutation. So order of 1 2 is 2. So 1 2 cannot generate all the 6 elements of S3. Similarly, you can check that 2 3 order is 2, so 2 3 square will become the identity permutation. Similarly, 1 3 square will become the identity permutation. If you do the computations with 1 2 3, you can check that 1 2 3 raised to power 3 becomes 1, and 1 3 2 raised to power 3 becomes 1. So no element of S3 can generate S3 single-handedly. So S3 is not cyclic. We now prove that every infinite cyclic group is isomorphic to Z, and every finite cyclic group of order n is isomorphic to Zn. So up to isomorphism there is only one infinite cyclic group, and that is Z, and up to isomorphism there is only one finite cyclic group of order n, and that is Zn. We first prove the infinite case. So let G generated by A be an infinite cyclic group. then a to the power n cannot be 1 for any integer n. Define psi from g to z by psi of ai to be equal to I. Any element of g is of the form a to the power I, where I is any integer, and so we send a to the power I to simply I. Now if j is not equal to I, then ai cannot be equal to a to the power j, because if ai is equal to aj, that would imply that ai minus j is 1, which is not so because a is of infinite order. So a different power of a goes to different integer, and that shows that psi is well defined. Now we show that psi is a homomorphism. So for this we take two elements of g, ai and aj. Then psi of ai aj is equal to psi of ai plus j. So by definition of psi, this goes to I plus j, but I plus j is psi of I plus psi of j, and this shows that psi is a homomorphism. Remember that in G we are taking the operation multiplicatively, and in Z we are taking the operation additively. Now we prove that psi is 1 1. So for this, suppose psi of ai is equal to psi of aj, that would imply I is equal to j, and this will imply that ai is equal to a raised to power j. So psi is 1 1. For onto any m in Z has pre-image a to the power m, and so psi is onto, and this shows that G is isomorphic to Z. Now let G be a finite cyclic group of order n. Define phi from G to Zn by phi of a raised to power I equal to I, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1 now. Suppose phi of a raised to power I is equal to phi of a raised to power j, then by definition I is same as j. This would imply that a raised to power I is same as a raised to power j, and this shows that phi is 1 1. To show phi is on to any, see that any element of Zn is I, where I is between 0 to n minus 1. Corresponding to that I, pre-image is a to the power I. So phi of a to the power I is I, and this shows that phi is onto. Now we show that phi is a homomorphism. So for this, take two elements in G, ai and aj. Then phi of ai times aj is equal to. Now if we multiply these two elements in G, then ai times aj will be equal to a raised to power I plus j, but this I plus j will be modulo n. That means it will lie between 0 and n minus 1. And by definition of phi, so this is equal to I plus j modulo n, and this is how we add I and j in Zn. And so this is equal to phi of a raised to power I plus phi of a raised to power j. This shows that phi is a homomorphism, and hence G is isomorphic to Zn.